Okay, seeing a bunch of you start and getting joined. Okay, I'm gonna give you as people are joining, an update of what's happened this crazy week. So this is a fun one. The breeder of my horse actually has, because she's had knee surgery and she can't ride her horse, she's loaned him to us, which is fantastic. So he's gonna work on teaching Zeus how to be a horse and not be a knucklehead. Let's see, what else? And you know what? Getting ready in the morning for this, I don't know if it's better to be running around all the way to the last minute, or is it better to be ready and prepared and sitting there and twiddling your thumbs? I almost feel like that's more torture, but I know that Corey would feel like running around like a crazy woman like I do is more torture. Do my horses like the snow? I don't think. You know what? They have free access to their pasture, and we did have snow last year. I don't remember them being out in it. They just hung out in the stall because that's where we have their free feeders. So they're these big, giant, about the size of a bale of hay, feeders that have like a grid on top that helps. So it slows them down, but it makes it so that food is available all the time, which is fantastic because I only have to worry about, well, in the past, I only had to worry about feeding in the evening. Now, because of having Comet and Zeus, they're going through food a whole lot faster. Shocking surprise. Hey guys, I see a whole bunch of you over on Instagram. Carmen, hello. Congratulations for winning last week's question. Good job. Tatiana, hello. Oh, this is fun to see you guys. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple of things before we get started, since you guys throw out your questions. Anything that you feel like, especially those of you who've been on regularly, and have I answered every question? Sarah says, are the pure jojoba oil bottles on eBay or Amazon as good as your Bliss Kiss nail oil? If it was, then our product would be pure jojoba, but it's not. And it's because when I started this business, so I actually fell into a 2-week-long rabbit hole after my husband and I had finished writing a book, which took 2 years, and I actually fired the layout designer, and I was very good at using InDesign, and so I laid out the entire book. And so that was exhausting. By the time I was done, I was like, I don't even want to promote the book, which was a bad idea. But I learned in that whole process that when you create a product, that product is actually 10%. 90% is marketing it. So I was tired, fell into this 2-week-long rabbit hole, and discovered the whole world of, Instagram wasn't created yet. It's so weird when I can say that. I remember the internet being invented. Anyway, I digress. So I fell into this two-week rabbit hole, learned all about swatching and nail art and all of the different videos that were all over YouTube, and I was just enthralled. And I had learned after the 2 weeks, I sort of felt like, okay, I've pretty much seen everything. Back when the internet was smaller, I actually felt like I could get to an end of the internet. And so I had learned a lot of good information, and one was that jojoba is almost identical under the microscope to our body oil. Let's see if I can find the image. But I know you guys, if I can't find it soon enough, the image is over on nailcarehq.com. Anyway, it's not showing up quickly. So under the microscope, so actually there's just a little cross-linking. I don't understand because I really want to take chemistry now. But anyway, it looks like a straight chain of, and so body oil is almost identical to jojoba. But I also did a whole bunch of research on other oils. Actually, before that, I was like, okay, great. I will go find a cuticle oil that will work for me. And every single one had almond oil in them. And so I was just like, yep, okay. I'm a mom. I've made a few recipes. I can do this. And so I did a whole bunch, now getting into the internet again and doing a whole bunch of research into what ingredients are really helpful, and I looked at what ingredients were in all of the commercial products, the DIY recipes, and I selected strategically. I went, these are the ones that I think will be good. And so I just had Corey. Actually, we had pens like this. I had a couple of them from Avon, and now that what I know, they were horrible. It was a horrible formula. Because the first ingredient was mineral oil, and mineral oil does not penetrate the skin or the nails. But anyway, I was like, Corey, can you pull this apart so I can put my oil in it? And so he did, and after 4 months, 4 months of oiling my nails regularly, they were twice as long as this. And so I was just like, there might be a girl on this planet who might like this too. And so that was how our business started 5.5 years ago-ish. Corey was laid off in September of 2012. So, yeah. So then people like my mother and my best friend actually tried straight jojoba and absolutely sure that it would work the same, and it just didn't. So there is this synergistic blend with all of the oils and the jojoba, which is a wax ester. And that makes it different than something all by itself. And one of our team members he gave me this great analogy of a cake. And you start with, you have your eggs and your oil and your your baking mix, if you're like me and lazy, or all of your ingredients that make up the flour part. And so I was like, okay, so if you take these separate parts and you put them together and then bake them, you get a different product. It behaves totally different. It looks different. And you no longer have the eggs, the oil, your flour mixture. It's different. So that is the long rounded way of explaining why our oil is different from just straight jojoba. The other thing too is you actually don't know the quality of the jojoba that you're getting, and we did a lot of research to find our supplier. So and that's a fun, I showed this last week, but I'll do it again because you guys are awesome. Anyway, so I did an experiment to show you guys of, do you know which bottle is straight jojoba and which one is jojoba, 50% jojoba and 50% mineral oil? And mineral oil doesn't penetrate the nail plate. So if you could take this awesome ingredient and then you cut it with a product that physically cannot penetrate the nail plate or the skin. It just creates, it's almost like, mineral oil basically creates this almost like a plastic coating on your, it's the equivalent of on your skin. It's not going to penetrate. The only thing that it will do is create this barrier so that then your bottom, so then coming up from the bottom, so through your skin and through your nail plate, that perfect blend of oil and moisture and all of those ingredients that help keep our skin supple, those things can rise to the top, and then they get stuck right at the mineral oil level. So this is something that was really, really interesting to me to do visually, because a lot of times jojoba comes in a brown bottle, so you can't even see the golden color, and you don't know what pressing you're getting, because it's compressed like olives. So it goes into a press and it presses out this amazing liquid. So for those of you, it's the one, depends on how you're right versus my right. So my right is the one with the red dot. That is the one that is cut with 50% mineral oil. It's slightly less golden, but you wouldn't necessarily know it just by looking at it. If you were looking at it separately, it'd be like, okay, that looks like jojoba. So again, long-winded way to get there. Let's see, let me look at Facebook real quick. Hi Jan, hello. Let's see, I don't know if I can see your whole comment, Carmen. The Ridge Filling Base Coat article, I just need to proof it. It is ready to go. I am hoping to finish that this day, today, and have that out for you. So look on Facebook and Instagram, and I will create a little meme that says it's available. Okay, Tatiana, I can't tell what you're trying to say. A lot of times with broken English or Siri dictation type of English, I can sort of figure out what people are saying, but I can't figure that one out. So let me go back here over to Instagram, and let's see, a whole bunch of you. Let me see, I want to get back to wherever the last question was, because it tells me all you wonderful people who joined. Okay, so back to that jojoba question. Somebody asks me, where are you? Number 3.ch02, have you promoted your product in Arab countries? I think it deserves all the attention. We actually just promote through social media. So with our website, we sell globally, and our team works really hard to get our orders out within 24 hours, except on the weekends, because we like our weekends off too. So at least domestically, we've found that people get their order in anywhere from 3 to 5 days. And then internationally, can take up to 6 weeks, with the average being about 2 weeks. And so here's why I don't try and find, I'm not at that point yet of trying to find a bunch of distributors all over the globe. And it's because I want our product to be fresh. When you get it, we've made it within a few weeks. We used to have it be like fresh. We made it just a few days before it goes out in the mail. Now the volume is like, yeah, that's not happening. But I mean, we have refrigerators, so the product is made and goes straight into a refrigerator to hold that, so that deterioration process of the grapeseed. The grapeseed is the most fragile. It has a 9-month shelf life. So we stick that in the refrigerator. It's completely dedicated, has tons of boxes, and the team uses that and they rotate them through. Anyway, so you're getting really, really fresh product. So if we shipped them over to Germany and they sat on a shelf somewhere, I wouldn't be able to help control how old that product is. And after 9 months, it really does start to turn and go what we think of as rancid. That's that word. And it's just meaning that for most of us, the oil still works fine. It just doesn't smell good. We don't like it. So that's all. Let's see. So the last thing I would want is you getting an oil and having it smell rancid. The right side. Somebody, let's see, who was it? Norma said the right side. V said the left. See, it's hard. It's hard to tell. Hi, honey. Corey Seidel joined. Sarah, I live in Germany and the shipping's kind of expensive. Are your products going to be more available in Europe? Yeah, well, sorry, I just answered that one. And I do understand that the shipping is expensive, and I wish we could change it. I wish we could make it better. And the other problem is that we can't control what customs fees are charged, because some countries they do random spot check of customs fees. Some countries every single package that comes in has customs and VAT taxes and and all of those things. So this is a big part of why we do the sale in January and July, is to make it so that sort of takes the ouch out of the shipping, and And then we have so many international people that that's how they get started. And then once they try it and see this magical thing happen, they're like, yeah, the shipping's totally worth it. And the other thing is that shocked me at the very beginning is, how do you find gratitude in this expensive shipping? Which is actually very, very reasonable, because when I called UPS and FedEx to find out how much it would cost, they said $80, and that was 5 years ago. So I was just like, that's not an option. So we have to suck it up and deal with the flaws sometime with USPS and them losing some orders every once in a while. But anyway, okay. Meavy, sorry, I'm trying to, my glasses are, it's like the glasses just too, and then the glare and I don't know what's happening over on Facebook. It looks very granular, but then when I had the blinds open, I looked like a white sheet. So does this have, I have a problem with brittle nails. Does it help strengthen them? Yes, our oil does. And the reason is because, so let me look at this, see if you guys can see this picture. This is my favorite one, because, so this is the pink nail bed. Back here is the nail matrix. This little band of skin right there is the proximal fold. And this skin that's laying on the nail plate, that is the cuticle. So whenever I ask people, how do you remove the cuticle? The real answer is scrape. You cannot physically cut the cuticle. And this is the proximal fold. It's live skin. It's a guardian seal. And so it's very important that this never ever get cut. But it is, as you can see right here, where this cuticle skin is, it is attached to the proximal fold. Let's see if I can get it to look better. And you can see that this cuticle is actually stretching out the proximal fold. So this is why it's a good idea to push back very gently with your fingernail. To basically, your intention when you're doing this is to release that death grip that's happening over here. So let me get back to the, how does the oil help strengthen brittle nails? So this pink nail bed, since it's live, and your nail dies about right there, it's only live when it's in the matrix, and after that it turns transparent and it's dead. Now what makes it look pink is that it's getting this nice blend of oils and moisture from the underside, from your nail bed. As soon as it leaves the nail bed, it turns white, and that's because it's no longer getting nourished by the body, the nail bed, and getting that blend of oil. So what do? We wash our hands like crazy, and then this all dries out even more because water just strips the oils from it. So then what our oil does is it penetrates into the nail plate, and so it makes those tips, especially those of us who've got longer tips, it makes them more flexible, but not soft kind of flexible. It's so that when you whack them into something, they're actually going to bend, they're not going to snap. So that's what we've all noticed, those of us who are loyal Blissettes, is that we're used to whacking our fingers into a drawer, a counter, whatever, and you look down expecting it to be broken because that is your past history experience, and you look down and it's still there. Everything's fine. And that's what's really, really exciting. So yes, and also maybe go to go to Google, nailcarehq.com, and then also the keyword strengthen brittle nails, and I explain that in a whole lot more detail. Roaring Tiger, are you going to have a Black Friday sale? Shh. Actually, we're about to leak that. Yes, will be the first time that we are doing a Black Friday promotion sale. It won't be a huge discount like our regular sale, but there will be for sure one new product, and we're so working hard to get that travel kit. available and ready for you. So, yes, Black Friday. So keep your eyes open. Nail Fame says you're looking gorgeous. Thank you. I'll tell you, Facebook. I want to turn a light on, but then everything will get blinded. Nail Art by Gracie. Does the temperature of the oil affect how it absorbs? Yes, it does. Warmer oil, which is why if you go to a salon, don't ever let them soak your nails in water. But a hot oil soak is great for your nails. And the reason is because, our body heat actually makes, or if you heat up the oil, but I wouldn't recommend sticking it in the microwave. If you heat it up, so for those of you, before we had the manicure clips, one gal, she would get a small glass and put really hot water in it, soak her pen in it for about a minute or two, and that would warm up the oil, and then she'd apply it while she was watching television. And now you can actually use our manicure clips to help with that. But it does penetrate into the nail plate and the skin faster, warm. So excellent question. Mio, I'm going to spell it, M-I-O-G-A-E. Mioji. I've always wondered, why do my nails grow crooked? That is such a great question. And I have two that grow crooked. My index fingers, they like to go off that way. So it's because of the shape of your nail matrix. Sorry. So when we have crooked nails, it's because and it's also, it's the shape of your fingertip bone, but it's mostly based on the shape of your matrix and the size of it. So a lot of the thickness of your nail plate is predicated by the size. Let me see if I can find a picture that would help with that. So since your nail matrix is back here, and if you guys can see this, just this little part right here that's still whitish, that is the lunula, which is the exposed portion of the matrix. And not everybody has them, and you technically don't really want them, because it's much better to have the matrix covered by all of this skin. So some people can have, and we don't really know how big your matrix is, unless we cut you apart, which sounds disgusting. I'd like to stay in one piece. So anyway, let's just say, if for somebody who has a nail matrix that's this size, okay, their nails are going to be thinner than somebody who has a nail matrix that fits this whole area, or actually even bigger, because the bigger the matrix is this way, the more room there is to make more layers. And they kind of stack on top of each other like little Lincoln logs. So that's why when those of us who have really thin nails like me, we have a smaller matrix. So sadly, we can't make them thicker, other than the temporary strength that nail polish gives us, which is why I created the Fab 5 wrap, which is the concept of apply 2 layers of base coat wrapped all the way around your tips to your skin. Okay, and then 2 layers of base coat on top, 2 layers of color on top, and then another layer of top coat wrapped all the way around. And some people use the wrong terminology, as if there was one, but I made it up. So there is the top, so there is capping your tips, which is just running the brush across the tip, and then wrapping your tips goes all the way around. And so what happens is you've got 5 layers on top, but you've also got 3 layers on the bottom. So that has given your nails a lot of temporary strength, for those of us who are really thin. Those of you who have really thick nails, we're all very jealous, and it's a lot of all of this stuff is not nearly as critical. You guys tend to have just really, really strong nails that don't break, and but they do still get they can get very brittle if you are working a lot with water or dirt or things, paper, fabric, those kind of things can really strip the oils from your nail plate. So there's why they grow crooked. Norma says, I'm in Alberta and I get my oils from you in about a week. Pretty darn fast delivery. So that's great. I mean, a lot of times Canada used to take 2 weeks, and so I'm really happy that that seems to be improving. Lilium says, should I store my nail oil in the fridge? Only if, for sure, absolutely for sure, that 4-ounce bottle. The big bottle, yes. And we have since learned, don't store it in the freezer, because it does seem to change. What it does is it changes the fragrance oil. So you can lose some of the fragrance by putting it in the the freezer. But for those of you who got fragrance free, you could stick it in the freezer. Both are going to work fine in terms of increasing that shelf life. And we have somebody who said she's had it, so she bought it at the very beginning. She's had it in her fridge for 4 years, still smells fantastic, works fantastic. So that's awesome. What the fridge does is it pulls down the temperature, causing it to delay the expiration process. Just like with our food, food lasts longer in the refrigerator. So that's what that does. So for sure, the big bottle. If you have the little dropper bottle, I have them, and I need the little dropper bottle around. Some people, if they have the little dropper bottle just to refill their pens, let me try and remember to come back about refilling the pens. If you're just using that little dropper to refill, then I would keep it in the fridge too. But I use it all over by the television, in the bathroom, all of that. So let me go back to, can you refill these? Because a lot of people ask me that. And technically, they are sold to us as a single-use item. But Corey was really smart, and he figured out how to pull it apart, which takes a lot of strength, you guys. A lot of strength. You're actually pulling, you're not pulling apart the tip part, you're pulling apart this part. And Corey will do this with his hands and go, eek, and it pops it apart. For me, I'm like elbows out as far as I can, and I'm going, oh. So I let him do it. But sometimes there's a little donut in there that is the plunger, and sometimes that can break. And once it does, there's no fixing it. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube that our customers have made, so watch a bunch of those, see if you can do it. A lot of people, some of them, they break right. You can't even refill it one time. And then we have another person, she said she got all the way to 13 fills before she broke it. So there you go. I hope that answers that. Facebook, do you have a video showing your Fab 5 polish wrap? I hope so. I remember that I recorded one, and I am recording nail art videos. I'm just starting finally after 6 years, so I do not claim to be very good at all, because I haven't had the practice all of you have had. So there should be a video, but you'll also see it. But basically, it's pretty easy. It's just polish your nails like normal, but then let me find my little assisting box. So when I find, there we go. Okay, so I got my empty bottle. So what you're gonna do is actually, so I will polish this side. Oh, can't do it without looking. So polish this side, and then whatever polish is on the other side, I will go underneath here and just swipe up. So you're trying to touch your skin as little as possible. I know it's challenging, but you're swiping up. Or sometimes I'll actually swipe across. Here, let me just break all of the rules. There are no rules. And so, but a big thing too that a lot of people don't realize, especially when you're first starting out, is we don't take the polish out and immediately go to our nail plate. we're going to actually, depending on the size of your nail, the length of it, and this is just done by repetition and learning the length of your nails, is I always wipe against the inside of the neck, not the edge like this, because getting polish around here is actually what glues the cap to it. So you're going to wipe from the inside of the neck and then apply what you need to your nail. And the other thing is, you have, you guys, it's like trying to look in a mirror and do this. You have lots of working time. And so a lot of people will do it this way with the brush. And what you really want to do is press down on that brush and fan it out. See how much that fans out? So this is how you get 3 strokes. You fan it out really, really a lot, wide, and then do another stroke on each side. And then I will do a 4th stroke to just kind of smooth that out. But I hope that helps. It took me forever to figure that out. It also helped to watch a lot of bloggers. Okay. Amanda says, I don't know how she, this one gal still has oil left after 4 years. Some people don't use it very much, especially if you buy a big bottle and you're only use it on your nails. But this is a great segue into, we have, especially with my sons who have eczema, we've started showing people and getting before and after photos of people using it on psoriasis and eczema, all kinds of other skin issues that I can't even pronounce, and they're so long that they end up with shorter acronyms like GA. Those of you who have it will know. KP, I think that's another one. Anyway, so we have more people who are using it on all of their body. I love using it after I get out of the shower, especially if I've done a big soapy scrub to get really, really clean, and then you come out of the shower and your skin feels like stretched saran wrap. And so I love using the oil to then soften my skin so that it feels really, really nice. And you don't want to use very much. You do not want to feel greasy. So I will take just a few drops and rub it in my hands and then rub it all over. And when you start to feel like your hand is starting to grab, is that the right word? It's starting to grab because it's dry. So then that's when you know you've got enough. So you want it to be really thin and you really push it and spread it out. You want it to feel like you have just this very light, thin layer of body oil. So for those of you who are dealing with skin issues, we created a support group over on Facebook. It's closed so we don't get scammers and trolls and all of that. But we've created this really safe place for people who are struggling and want to try our oil and see how it works with their skin issues. And the response and the results are mind-blowing, which is so cool, you guys. It's so cool to make that kind of impact in people's lives. That's why we do it. So I think, do I have any more? Okay, looks like Facebook is good. Our glue-on, Jackie, great question. Are glue-on nails harmful to the natural nail? No. Wait, are they harmful? No, they are just fine. The nail glue and even super glue, all of these dissolve in acetone, just like our polish does. So the glue is fine. You don't want it on your skin because that's a bigger issue and you can really damage your skin. But applying the glue to your nail plate, this is a way that fiberglass wraps and silk wraps are done, is applying that wrap and then applying the glue to help bond it all to the nail plate. Okay, so that just dissolves with acetone. The problem is when you do that, and let's say that you've done a silk wrap and it starts to lift down here and you start picking at it and prying it. And when you pry any glued product, when you pry that off, the part that has lifted is fine, but the part that's still bonded to your nail is going to take nail cells with it. Let me see if I can find. So, just so you guys know, this is what the nail cells look like at the tips of your fingers. Where's the other one? That is what it looks like. There we go. So here's the surface of the nail plate. You can see all of the cells. Okay, so that glue is kind of bonded, it's bonded to this top layer of cells. Okay, you start prying at it, it is going to take some of these cells with it. And the result is fuzzy, peeling nails. And we all hate that. So the best way to deal with it, if you're using any kind of glue, is to never ever pry it off. You want to soak it. So one of my new favorite ways of, like, my thumbs, because they leave the nail plate, they leave the nail beds way back here. If I do something just right, it will tear across this way into the pink nail bed. Hurts like and so my favorite way, rather than trying to do a fiberglass wrap or the tea bag method, I gave up on the tea bag method 6 years ago. For me, it's worthless because I do too much with my hands, and I bust the wrap in less than 24 hours. So I actually will take an entire false nail tip, a plastic tip, and I will glue it to my whole nail, and that will help protect. While that huge tear way back there, it helps prevent more torque that is actually, can I do this? The torque right here that happens if some external force happens on this corner, that's what causes it to tear, especially those of us who have flatter nails. My thumbs, I'm trying to show you guys weird things. My thumbs have a much more relaxed C curve than my fingernails do. They're much more of a C, and as they grow out, they curve in even more, and they can head towards the O shape. So I actually will file this edge up just a little bit to keep that C curve more relaxed. So hopefully that'll help you, any of you guys who have really curved C curves. Sissy says, what is your husband gonna do with your nails next? I don't know. Why don't you guys tell me? Tell me. We've got 20 minutes. What would you like to see Corey do? And don't say water marbling, and don't say one stroke painting. Those are the two most difficult nail art techniques on the planet. So don't try and torture him yet. We gotta get him through the easier stuff. So what do you guys want to see him do? He did waterfall nail art by Sammy of Nailosaurus. She created it, and so he did that. His first one was terrible, but you know what? He didn't swear. We actually have a swear jar for Corey because he doesn't really swear. He will use the S word. So this is fun. He has to pay $0.25 every time he swears. So I want something that's going to kind of make him swear, but not water marbling and not one stroke painting yet. I still have to work at perfecting those. So Sissy, tell me what you want him to do. Sarah Disseldorf says, so in reference to somebody who was international, still, even though the shipping is expensive, I stay true to your nail oil because nothing compares. Thank you, Sarah. I am honored and humbled. I have a question. So, Olisi, I think Olisiana. Sometimes I can't tell with the way you guys do your screen names. I have a question. Is vitamin D3 helpful with nails or hair? Yes, if you eat it. So you want to consume that vitamin. Anybody who is, and you'll have to, I haven't memorized the number of where San Francisco, California is, that line around the globe is anybody who lives north of that should be taking vitamin D3. It helps with your mood. It helps, and it's because we don't get enough sun. So if we're not going out into the sun at least 15 minutes every day, our skin is not creating vitamin D. So this is why it's very important for us to take it. And if we are deficient in vitamin D3, will that affect our nails? Absolutely. So make sure that you're taking all of your vitamins, especially if you know you don't eat a 100% perfect diet with 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. Did you know it's 10 now? The recommendation is 10, not 5, but 10. I guarantee you I don't get that in. It's a good day if I get that in, but most of the time I'm still shooting for 5. So yes, I definitely take a fair amount of vitamins, and if you're concerned, head over to your doctor, have them do a blood panel, have them take a look at your iron, your thyroid, some of your vitamins that you may be deficient in. It's a really, really good thing to do if you're concerned, especially if you have really brittle hair and really brittle nails. That can be an indication that something is not quite right, and a lot of times it's solved by just vitamins or minerals, so that helps a lot. Ikasu, however you say it. Sorry, forgive me for butchering your guys. A couple of days ago, a part of my nails snapped right off at work. I'm sorry, honey. I know. So for those of you, if you're still not using our oil and you're unsure of how it can help, Google nailcarehq.com and strengthen brittle nails. That is one of my most popular articles that I've written. I've got over 90 now there, and I've dictated a good chunk of them, so those are up on YouTube. Go to youtube.com Bliss Kiss. We finally got just that one. So no C as in channel anymore, so it's Bliss Kiss. Let's see. Jackie says, woohoo, a sale. Yes. But it's only going to be for the 4 days, so definitely pay attention to that. So, Sick E48, does it work on sled nails? My nail is so thin and sled shaped. So, sled is a new term that I actually have not heard. There's spoon nails, there's parrot beak nails. So I'm wondering if it's parrot beak. So spoon nails, I don't think anybody's asked me to talk about that. Spoon nails, when they grow, they flare up. And the curve actually goes the other direction. So they look like the curve of a spoon. And then parrot beak nails are what you would think. A parrot beak points down, and so the nails grow down. And again, that's based on the size and the shape of your nail matrix. And then I think your fingertip bone has an effect on how that happens. So what the oil will do is it can relax some of that shape. Because when our nails are really dry, they tend to go to the extreme. They will, if your nails curve this way, they're going to curve even tighter. I found that out when I used to go camping up in the Sierra Mountains in California. And my nails would just curve so tight, so tight. In fact, they actually even hurt on the sides because they were so dried out. And that didn't happen when I was down at sea level, normal living level, because it wasn't so dry. So it can relax, the oil can help relax them the opposite direction. I hope that makes sense. Pronounced Mio. Hi, Mio. Sarah, do you have to rub the oil into your skin? Sorry, I have so many questions. You guys never, ever, ever apologize for so many questions. That's why I'm here. The only dumb question is the one that stays in your head and never gets asked. Do we have to rub the oil into our skin? I do just a little bit, just like you would rub lotion a little bit. You're not going to sit there and rub and rub and rub and rub. If you do, then you put on way too much. So I want you to use less. Sissy, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. I always learn so much and I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Over on Facebook, One of our team members put the link to the Fab 5 video wrap. Fab 5 wrap video. Let's get that in the right order. And so yes, it is up on YouTube, and just search for Bliss Kiss and Fab 5 wrap and you'll find that. Norma, you take the top off the pen, so you pull the bristles out. I'm impressed, because I have enough trouble just getting those bristles on. So, and that's actually how they come to us, is the bristles come as a separate part. So actually, if you can get this off and get it on without flinging oil everywhere, I am highly impressed. Good job. I don't think nobody has said that they do that. So Norma, you rock. I used to have, okay, you've got a whole bunch of X's in your name. XXLUK, you know who you are. I used to have long and strong nails, and when I started to work in retail, they started to become brittle and break right under the white part. The oil doesn't seem to help anymore. I know exactly why. Because, let me guess, retail and fabric. Either that or paper, but I'm going to guess fabric. And the reason is because fabric is so drying. So you actually would benefit greatly from the overnight hydration treatment. And that is where you slather on our oil really well. You apply our lotion stick to your hands, or some sort of balm, B-A-L-M. Many of you have Lemony Flutter by Lush. Merging words today. That one would work too. So, and then you slather your hands, and then you put those in nitrile gloves or latex if you don't like nitrile and you're not allergic to latex. And so you can, and then just wear that at night, or I like wearing it at night. It took me a little bit to get used to it. But a lot of people just wear it for 2, 3, 4 hours when they're watching movies in the evening or television. If they're cooking dinner, you can wear them also. A lot of times, if my skin is feeling really dry and I'm going to go do gardening, I will actually do all that stuff, put on the nitrile gloves, and then put on my gardening gloves. And so all of the heat makes it all just work so awesome. And then you take all of that off and your hands feel like butter, and your nail tips will actually start to turn transparent, which means that the oil is penetrated all the way through. It's a very good thing. Actually, people get freaked out about clear nail tips, and I'm like, that is awesome. You want clear nail tips. You don't want these bright white nail tips. That means that they're dry, and they're going to crack. So yes, I love when I do an overnight hydration and my tips turn half clear. So I think that will help you. And also, if you use our lotion stick when you're at work, that will help a lot too. Norma says, when I put the top back on the pen, I only push it down 3/4 of the way. If I push it down all the way, it's way too hard to get it off again. Very smart. I'm going to try that. Endless Shades, what are good techniques on remembering to apply nail oil more? I never remember, and it's so bad. I need some good techniques on applying nail oil as often as possible. You, dear Endless Shades, are going to love that overnight hydration treatment, or intense hydration treatment. I almost think that might be a better name, because you don't have to do it overnight. So here's why we sell a starter kit as 4 pens, because our brain is not helpful a lot of times. It remembers important things at odd times. It would be really, really, really awesome if our brain would remember, I need onions and milk and pasta and orange juice right as I'm driving past the grocery store. But no, you get that kind of reminder when you're on the freeway or in the middle of school or work. This is not helpful. And our brain works the same way with oil, with remembering oil. So the reason I recommend 4 is so that you have 1 in your purse, one in your desk or your backpack, desk at work or backpack, and one at your nightstand right before bed and right when you wake up, and then also one by the television, because frankly, a lot of us like television or movies. I like Netflix. So that's why you have 4, because when your brain goes, oh, you're just messing with your hands or whatever, your brain goes, oh, I should oil. Well, if it's way back in your purse, you're not getting up. And that's why I recommend 4. And I really wish that we didn't offer 1, because a lot of the things that you see in our store, we offer them that way because I know it's in your best interest to get them that way. So it's really in your best interest to get 4 at a time. But I realize that people who are just starting and just discovering us at Bliss Kiss, they're like, I don't know, I need to put my toe in the water just to see. So, nail alert by Gracie, I have really bad eczema on my inner elbow area. Need to try this out. Yes, you do. You will be shocked at how quickly. I know when Dane is using it regularly, his eczema, he gets really red on his eyelids and in his neck here. All of that redness and that itching is gone in less than 3 days. So depending on how good he is, but he's 13, 14, so, you know. You can only get 14-year-olds to do so much on their own. Sissy, how do we join the skin group? Excellent question. I started to go and tell you that, and then I forgot. So thank you for asking that. Go to myblisskiss.com/healthy skin. And you'll be taken to a web page that we ask for your email address, and then we send you links to the literature that we've created, and especially because my best friend and we went through and we're looking at all of the different how the skin issues and how the oil helps with that. And then we also have another support group, and I think a lot of people will really appreciate this one, because I'm pretty sure that just about everybody on the planet has an issue with either biting or picking. And I am a skin picker. I will pick at this little bit of skin right there. If I've got these shredding hangnails back here, I will pick at those and they'll bleed and get infected. And then Corey bites his nails, and he'll bite at his skin too. Every once in a while I've caught myself biting at my calluses. So our oil keeps those calluses soft, but we bite and we pick for very different reasons. But what I'm finding is a lot of people, anxiety and boredom is a big one. Big. And so for that one, with the bite pick, you're going to want to go to myblisskiss.com/healthy nails. And again, Kirsten and I have created tons of literature and PowerPoint keynote kind of presentation, because there is a spectrum, just like there's an autism spectrum of people fall in different places on the spectrum. There actually is a spectrum for biting and picking. So definitely check that out. It's a closed Facebook group, so no trolling, no mean people. Oh, thanks for the hearts, you guys, over on Instagram. That's so sweet. So definitely check those out. We do our very best to get you approved and in there within 24 hours. So, okay. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I've got 5 minutes left. Okay, so what is a question? What did I tell you guys today? Because what I was gonna ask. So, gosh, I didn't even ask a question or give you the answer. So let's see. Okay. I want to find something that I talked about. Oh, okay. What's the, this one actually has nothing to do with nails. So, what is the only dumb question? Somebody said, sorry for asking so many questions, and I said, there's only one type of dumb question. What is it? Let's see if so while I'm going, Fanny SRs, I probably am putting the emphasis in the wrong place. My nails tend to curve up on my left hand. They didn't used to. Is there any nail care that I can do so that they grow back to normal? Will you email me a picture of your nails? Send that to info@myBlissKiss.com. I would really like to see them and see if I can help you. I also might ask you about 15 questions to find out what's going on with your lifestyle. If you're okay with that, that would help me a whole lot more, because I don't like to give answers until I really, really understand who you are, what your lifestyle's like, what you're dealing with. You know, somebody who's sitting at a computer all day is going to have a way different experience than a stay-at-home mom who's dealing with 2 children in diapers. So these are the kinds of things that I need to know to be able to help you out. And just so all of you guys know, our nails are never the same. They change, they evolve. And so you can have suddenly my nails started breaking or my nails started peeling. And the very first thing you ask yourself is, what happened to me 4 to 6 months ago? Because if you had some big stressful event that happened in your life, having a baby, a divorce, a marriage, there's some good stresses, but still getting a new job that you love, or discovering that you hate your job, starting school, being in finals, all of these things affect your nails as you are going through that stress. And so they're affecting those nail cells as they are being created. And then it takes about 4 months for them to get to the tips. For some people, if your nails grow really slow, it can take up to 6 months. But you won't see that stress that was happening. You won't see that for about 4 months. So this is why nails will suddenly start peeling or breaking or these kind of things. And it's just because our nails are weaker and will be for a little while until that stress kind of settles down. So let's see. Okay, I am going to get my 2-minute warning. I really, really appreciate all of you guys who have stuck through the whole thing, because you didn't know when I was going to ask you the question, and this one was interesting. I didn't say, okay, here's the answer. So this one was good. You guys had to be paying attention. So I appreciate that. Okay, so I want to tell you guys where you can find all of me and my stuff. There's my 2-minute warning. You can find all of my articles at nailcarehq.com, and you can find our store over at myBlissKiss.com. You can find I think we have like 120 videos now over on YouTube. Some of them are very short, some of them are these lives that have been recorded, and if you want to check out all of those, the great thing to do is, of course, because they're an hour, is when you sit down to do your nails, just go find one of those and push start. That's a great way to get that information. And a lot of times we have to hear information more than once. This is why we see ads all the time. It takes us on average now 19, it may be longer, 19 exposures to an ad before we will actually think about acting of, do we want to purchase that ad? So it's really good to listen to this stuff over and over, so that we get it really ingrained in our brains, and just understanding that there can be a love relationship with our nails. It doesn't have to be a hate relationship. It's really, really exciting when you get to pick how long your nails are. That was so, so awesome for me, to finally be able to go, oh, they are too long. They have got to get shorter. That's awesome. Okay, I have 26 seconds, so if I lose you in the middle of a sentence, sorry, that would be why. Let's see. Fania Sars says, I have really long natural nails. I've never used fake nails and always wear gloves when I do housework. Good job. That's another good tip. Wear gloves all the time, as much as you possibly can.
Hey,
It's Anna. I've written over 70 nail care articles that you can find at nailcarehq.com. And if you're looking for products that will help you have longer, stronger nails, visit myblisskiss.com. Be sure to push the subscribe button and turn on notifications to get alerted when I publish more videos. This is Anna, signing off and sending you bliss.